How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Blackrock has just told us everything we need to know about Bitcoin and about these elections. I think a lot of people are missing the forest from the trees, and I want to give some clarity as to what's happening right now. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos like this. Hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts on what I'm about to go over down below in the comment section. Also, if you want to trade crypto, I opened up a trade yesterday. It's up 80%. If you want to trade as well, maybe you want to short it, maybe you want to long it, maybe you want to have something set up so that you can hedge yourself depending on how the election goes. There's a link to Margex underneath the video. You can get started in just a few seconds. I think it's important to have multiple places to trade during this bull run because a lot of the time Coinbase goes down, other exchanges go down. So you want to have multiple places to be able to access your crypto. So there's a link underneath the video. Now, a lot of people are paying attention to the election today. I think so many people, especially in crypto, think that obviously if Trump wins, he's much more pro-Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to do well. Maybe a strategic stockpile, that kind of stuff. But remember who holds a lot of the power right now in the crypto market. Is it Biden? No. Is it Kamala? No. Is it Trump? No. It's BlackRock. BlackRock has been the massive buyer recently. And a lot of people are missing what they're doing right now, what they're saying about the election. Just before we get into that, you can see a bit of a jump today from yesterday with Bitcoin going up from 66,700 yesterday all the way up to 70,400 today. Tesla stock is also up a lot too, which is pretty telling of what the market thinks. A lot of people think that if Kamala Harris becomes president, they're going to go after Trump. And they're obviously going to go after Elon as well for backing Trump so aggressively. And yet Tesla's up right now, so it might be a good sign for Trump. I'm not sure exactly, but as you can see, Bitcoin dominance going up too. So many people nervous, stressed out about this. And as I've said, I think no matter what, Bitcoin's going to do well, whether Kamala Harris becomes president, whether Trump becomes president. And a lot of that comes down to this. This happened over 2 years ago. BlackRock launched Spot Bitcoin Private Trust for U.S. clients. Basically, they launched a Spot Bitcoin Private Trust for large clients that want to get access to Bitcoin. Now, they could have done this for a couple reasons. One, maybe they knew that this would be a massive revenue driver for them. Maybe they're very bullish on Bitcoin. Maybe they knew that FTX was going to blow up. You can see this was the perfect time to launch. Right? Some people might say, well, they launched when Bitcoin was 25,000, then went down to 16,000. Keep in mind, they launched within months of FTX collapsing. Like if you look at the perfect 6 months to buy in at a great price for Bitcoin, it's this time right here. It's while the market's falling down. You can talk to your clients about why Bitcoin's a great asset. You can buy during the worst part of the dip. You can start to see returns and then get more clients in. There are more significant dips that you can get clients in even heavier positions. This is literally the best 1 year period you could have bought in this bear market. And BlackRock was nailing the bottom right here. They might be a large reason why we saw the market start to tick up. They were buying lots of Bitcoin. And then in 2023, they started talking about launching a spot Bitcoin ETF. This is after they got their clients hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin's price shot up, leading up to the ETF approval, and then shot up even more. So you're betting against BlackRock right now, who is in at the perfect time during the bear market, caused the bull market. And look, right, they're not worried about the election. At least that's what it looks like here. Of course, their clients are the ones buying, but they're forcing behaviors with their clients. You can see, starting from 3 weeks ago, $80 million, $300 million, $400 million, $300, $70, $330, $40, $320, $170, $292, $315, $642, $872 million, $320 million. Then last Friday, a 0 day. Then yesterday, they had an inflow of something like $40 million. They have still had massive inflows for the last couple months, or for the last month. I'd say they've had very, very significant inflows. Do you think they'd be doing this if they were worried about the election? If they thought that this is really going to change the outcome from Bitcoin going to multi-six figures possibly to maybe this is the high for the bull market? No, they don't. They do not think that this is the high for the bull market. They would not be pushing clients to buy in so much ahead of the elections if they thought this was going to significantly negatively impact the market. They've gotten a $26 billion position that we know of. And even more than this, if you count the derivatives or maybe MicroStrategy positions, that kind of stuff, Bitcoin miners, I'd say also they put in a lot of time, which is worth a lot, and they put in a lot of airtime, right? How many times has Larry Fink gone on and talked about Bitcoin? It seems like almost every time that he goes on CNBC, he talks about Bitcoin. That is worth something. That's a cost to the company. They could be talking about some other asset. They are still extremely bullish on Bitcoin, in my opinion. And keep in mind, this is different than a lot of people understand too, because they have $26 billion, right? 26 billion, 27 billion in Bitcoin, but they still have so much that's outside of Bitcoin. They recently had published that they had 11.5 trillion in AUM. Now, how big is IBIT? It says here net assets 23 billion. Over here, it says 26 billion. Let's call it 26 billion. That means that they have about 0.22% of their AUM in Bitcoin. I guarantee you this is the fastest growth that they've seen at the company. I think they have more upside in Bitcoin than a lot of other investments as well. And they could push this thing to whatever price they want, right? Yes, they've had a great launch so far. This is with them just telling their clients that they might want to invest in it. This is with the clients naturally coming to them. This is not them forcing the behavior, which is something they've talked about. This is not them forcing the behavior as in forcing their clients to buy Bitcoin. This is them forcing the behavior like, hey, we think you should do this. And then maybe on negative days, they have some kind of buyer that comes in and buys up any kind of negative outflow. But this is just like stage one. This is just stage one. This is not them forcing us to the next all-time high where they start buying billions of dollars within other portfolios. They can force buy Bitcoin. They can force people to buy Bitcoin by adding it to more portfolios and adding more aggressively. They've done this a couple times just with a few $1 million here or there. I think they bought in 4 different portfolios now where they added Bitcoin to like the global allocation fund or global strategic allocation fund. But they bought very small amounts. They could go out today and buy $10 billion of Bitcoin if they wanted to. They could force their portfolios to do that. But this is a longer process than just a one-day process. And they want to stack up more Bitcoin, in my opinion, before the next big move. But they can only buy so much, right? They've been buying billions and billions of dollars. They've been doing this through OTC desks, which allows them to not impact the market as much. But eventually, it runs out, right? Enough people see the way that the Bitcoin market's going. Enough people see that companies are buying or countries are buying or pensions are buying, and they don't want to sell quite as much. So the OTC desks dry up. The buyers have to pay higher prices. BlackRock decides, okay, now we're going to push Bitcoin to where we want it to be. We're going to push even harder because Larry Fink could get on CNBC every week or two if he wanted to, I'm sure. But his appearances have actually gone slower, I think, throughout the year as Bitcoin's trended sideways. It's probably because they want to take advantage of the price action, get more wealthy individuals in on it. Again, I think the setup is almost picture perfect, right? We have politicians talking about literally buying Bitcoin with government funds. We have pensions buying. We have companies buying. We have liquidity moving up. We have lower interest rates. Of course, things can happen in the short term that cause the market to get fearful, but this seems nearly perfect in my opinion. So, yeah, this was the strategic plan of BlackRock, right? Cause fear, cause uncertainty, if need be, because honestly, they do control media. They do control a lot of media, so they can, create narratives. They can make sure that their clients buy in a significant amount. They have had by far the best launch of all the ETFs. So they've gotten significant investments into their IBIT ETF. And then they can actually go and throw some gasoline on the fire and actually start buying it with their own AUM, which they haven't done a ton of yet. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to trade, you can check out the link down below to Margex. There are links to other exchanges too if you want to try something else. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting day. You can see if we really don't go back below the $67,000 mark, we just set a higher low, which is pretty bullish. If we break to new all-time highs, that would be 5 higher lows and 5 higher highs. Pretty awesome. Let me know your thoughts though. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one.